Let me start with this. Have you ever heard the story of a plane flying emptied, out of fuel at 41,000 feet, but not out of hope? Well, everyone, let me share with you one of the most incredible stories in aviation history here in our Manitoba province, and what it taught me about faith crisis and God's power. On July 23, 1983, Air Canada Flight 143 or Flight 143 was flying at 41,000 feet when it ran out of fuel. Yes, completely out of fuel. How and why? There was a fueling mistake. Someone measured in pounds instead of kilograms. Meaning, because of that miscalculation, the plane had less than half the fuel it needed to complete the full flight. Now imagine 69 people on board, all engines shutting down at 41,000 feet. It could have ended in disaster. But here's what happened. The pilot named Captain Robert Pearson had glider training, something most commercial pilots don't have. Plane with no power, no thrust, no engines, he managed to glide the massive Boeing 767 and landed safely on an abandoned airship in Gimli, Manitoba, which is close to my place. And amazingly, no one died. It became known as the Gimli Glider, a story of true miracle. Now here's what it hits me home spiritually. Sometimes life feels like that plane. You're flying high, everything seems normal, and then boom, suddenly you run out of fuel, your strength fails, you feel powerless, falling fast. But here's the truth: God doesn't need your engine to keep you flying. Just hold on. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary or weary. They walk. They shall walk and not faint." Imagine that. What saved that plane wasn't luck. It was preparation, calmness under pressure, and what I believe was a divine guidance. Well, in the same way, God trains us through His Word, through prayer, and through trials. So when life runs dry, our spiritual training kicks in. We don't crash. We glide under God's grace. Maybe today you feel like you're losing your altitude. Maybe you're out of fuel emotionally, spiritually, or even financially, struggling. But remember this one: you might be out of fuel, but you are not out of God's reach. His grace and mercy, wow, they are always new every morning. So what looks like the end can become your miracle at this moment. So let this story remind you: stay grounded in your faith, keep your spiritual fuel tanked full, because when the crisis hits, God's hand will guide your landing. Flying with trust in God, I tell you, this is not your crash. This is your comeback. God bless you and have a wonderful flying day. Enjoy!